A bacterium known as Toxoplasma Gondii is currently living in 30 to 50% of all humans on the planet. It's one of the most widespread infections in the world. It made stealthiness its mantra. It is apparently capable of altering a person's behavior in an almost unnoticeable way. It can completely hide from the immune system for decades. There is no vaccine or cure that can fully eradicate it, and it's just one of the many organisms that can alter the way we think. Kinda like watching TikTok brain rot and all that skibidi bullshit. It's 1908. We're at the Pasteur Institute in Tunis. Scientists Charles Nicole and Louis Manceau, I don't think that's how you pronounce that, identify a new parasite in the Gondii, a rat-looking bastard native to the area. They decide to call this new bacterium from the Greek words for arc and shape. A name as creative as a grandma deciding to fall down a flight of stairs on Christmas Eve to ruin everyone's holidays. In the vast majority of cases, the infection is latent, meaning that it shows no symptoms and it goes completely undetected. But some experiments, which I wish failed, I wish they didn't find any hidden side effects, actually succeeded at proving that the infection changes the behavior of a person. How could we tell? Well, how do you tell if you have toxoplasmosis to begin with? And how, in the sweet, jolly did billions of people get infected in the first place? Well, 6 years after its discovery in Tunis, physician Aldo Castellani suspected that humans could be infected by it. But it was confirmed only 24 years later when it was found in the brain of a newborn girl in New York. And the final piece of the puzzle was observed only 62 years after the initial discovery in 1970. Cat shit. The intestines of Felidae, the family to which the cat belongs, are the only place in which Toxoplasma can sexually reproduce and spread to the world. Yeah, humans can't infect humans, but cats can, and 30 to 40% of all cats in the world carry the disease. At any given moment, 1% of all the sick cats are shedding, which is the process of producing poop that is infected with oocysts, a repulsive, gross name for gross microscopic sacs filled with toxoplasmas. Toxoplasmi? If you ingest these gross sacs of shit, you get infected, and they can survive in the open for up to a year. Does this mean that the billions infected have eaten cat poop at some point in their lives? Well, each infected cat only sheds that nasty stuff for about a week, and then never again. And yes, ingesting trace amounts of cat shit is one of the ways to get toxoplasmosis, but it's a very unlikely one. Organ transplants from a person with toxoplasmosis can make you sick. Pregnant women can give their own children congenital toxoplasmosis, but the biggest culprit by far, responsible for 99.9% of the cases, is undercooked meat. Meat from an infected animal full of oocysts. They discovered this last way by experimenting on sick children in 1965. Why? They actually did it in a sanatorium in Paris. They fed a bunch of sick children undercooked meat, and after a few weeks, a bunch of them began testing positive for toxoplasmosis. The kind of meat is irrelevant. This is a ubiquitous disease. Virtually every warm-blooded creature on the planet can get it. Once ingested, oocysts break down in the stomach and intestines, releasing sporozoites, which are the fast-moving and self-replicating form of the bacteria. Within 7 to 10 days, those sporozoites form new oocysts in muscle tissue, including the heart and in the brain. Those new oocysts are a handful of patient mother because they will wait your whole life for one single opportunity to strike. Because in most healthy creatures, including humans, the immune system quickly notices the parasite and keeps it at bay by destroying any bacteria that starts attacking the body. But the oocysts themselves are never detected. And to date, no vaccine or cure exists. Once you get it, it will wait for you to grow old or sick, and then it will make a mess of you. It will beat your ass to a pulp. It can also increase risks of developing some bad conditions, so everyone would benefit from knowing if they have it. Right? Well, infection usually has no symptoms. Sometimes it feels like a mild flu for a couple of days, but that's it. Blood testing is the only reliable way of finding out. And that's not even close to the worst aspects of this disease. When scientists found out that something could lie dormantly in someone's brain for decades, they quickly hypothesized that having those microscopic ball sacks in your brain forever could have some unintended consequences. And they were right. In 2015, some researchers took two groups of people, one containing only people who tested positive for latent toxoplasmosis and one containing only people that tested negative. They had both groups take a standardized test for measuring aggression. That test was used to calculate an aggression score. The higher the score, the higher the level of aggression of the person. You can see where I'm going with this. The people that tested negative had a higher aggression score. Now, I'm tweaking. Obviously, the ones with toxoplasmosis scored higher. Women exhibited the biggest change, especially in the 20 to 59 age range. The effect was a lot milder in men, and for men older than 60 there was actually an inverse correlation. Having toxoplasmosis made them slightly less aggressive. But fuck details, they proved that this seemingly innocuous but incurable infection is making a third, or maybe even more because we don't know for sure, of all the people out there more aggressive. And I'm probably one of them, given that I crash out for no reason. Hi. Toxoplasmosis is not the only mind-altering parasite. Rabies makes its hosts more aggressive. Malaria makes mosquitoes abnormally attracted to the smell of human blood. Content creation makes you beg for money. I just opened a Patreon account. If you want to support what I do, I would love it. And I'd be so grateful. Nature is filled of ugly infections and parasites that do terrible things to brains. Even worse, our own organs can do it to ourselves. If you take a sample of poop from a healthy but depressed person and forcefully feed it to a mouse, you're a psychopath. But also, the mouse will likely develop depression, and that is related to 100 trillion. It's the number of microorganisms living in your gastrointestinal tract, a number 10 times higher than the amount of cells in the entire human body. 100 trillion independent life forms with their own DNA, living their own lives, forming what we call the gut microbiota. They're good bacteria that we need to digest food and absorb nutrients and function, and they can affect our mood. 95% of all serotonin in our bodies is produced in our guts, and serotonin affects mood, cognition, learning, memory, and I forgot. We even have a pretty long list of conditions we think could be caused by having an altered microbiota. We found some evidence, but we're not 100% sure yet. The microbiota change is what makes those poor rats depressed. It's not the utterly ego-shattering shame they feel for what they've been put through. It's because their gut microbiota gets colonized by the gut bacteria found in the depressed poop. It becomes dysfunctional and it affects the mice's brains. These are just a few of the ways in which our own bodies can screw with us. Hell, I didn't even tell you that toxoplasmosis can affect the behavior of mice and have them hang around cats more, so that the disease can reach its primary reproductive location, the intestines of cats. Thousands of things keep reminding us that consciousness is a fragile thing. You know what's even worse? My mental health when I work on a video for a month straight, and this is all I get. So please subscribe, like, and leave a comment like I hate bananas because... Goodbye.